Hi guys, 3 games in now for Season 7, and this week we've been playing Aerofighters, released by Video System in 1993. This game is a vertical shmup with a military theme, an evolution of the 1942 formula in some ways. As I mentioned, this game was one of the last from Shin Nakamura at Video System, before he left to create games under the Psycho name. I liked this game, but I certainly didn't love it. You have 4 different planes, which each have slightly different abilities. And then the game starts with 3 different levels which you get in a random order. Those first 3 are fairly straightforward once you get used to them, and then the difficulty ramps up significantly, making learning the levels even more essential. I didn't get that much time to play this week, and I was using the British guy for his spread shot, but most of our serious players seem to be using the Swede, that is possibly the most powerful. The game is solid. It sticks to a somewhat standard formula of enemies flying at you for much of each stage, followed by a boss at the end. The game doesn't have any major issues, but I also didn't find it overly memorable, so whilst fine, I doubt I'll be returning to it. It seemed like it caught the attention of a good number of people, and we had multiple submissions from quite a few folks.
So Aerofighters only saw one home release, and that was on the SNES, and that's what I've got here playing on my Mister. So if we go to one player, we see we get the character select screen. Let's go with the Swede. That's what most people are playing. I was playing with the Brit earlier in the week. So currently it's visually pretty accurate to the arcade, and so here now the game has started. I'd say it looks pretty nice. It's pretty close to the arcade game. Maybe not quite as crisp in terms of the graphics, but all the detail is there. Died there. I mean, the only thing that's significantly different is that we don't have the vertical oriented screen because we're obviously on a SNES, so they've had to adjust it for the horizontal screen. And I imagine this wasn't hugely popular to Shin Nakamura, who developed the game, because the horizontal aspect ratio was one of the reasons he left Video System to start Psycho, because he didn't want to develop for the Neo Geo, which had the forced aspect ratio. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with this game. I think if you got this on the SNES, I think you'd be pretty pleased with it to have such a close recreation of the arcade game. Let's fire the bomb here. Hopefully we can take it out. Oh, it died. Let's fire another bomb. Oh, it's still not dead. There we go. So yeah, it's got the kind of first few levels randomized as previous. So yeah, now we've got the kind of city level. And yeah, I mean, it's been a few days since I played the arcade game. I've been away this weekend. I'm recording this on my return. But based on my memory, which back in the day, if you got a home port of an arcade game, you'd mostly be basing that on the memory that you had. I'd say you'd be pretty pleased with this if you came home and were playing this. So yeah, that's the SNES version. Pretty good. So yeah, let's move on to the scores.
We had 22 people playing this week, including returns from Alex, who missed last season whilst he's been redoing his arcade, Charlie Farr, who had a few goes during Colin's stream, and also Marty Dyer, who occasionally takes part in the odd shmup. Scores were pretty competitive, and I'd say all of our top 10 have done very well. I'm down in 11th, with what I thought was a decent 280,000, but I didn't have any time to better it after I was playing early in the week. Mark and Bob are just ahead in 9th and 10th, close on score. There is then a little jump to the 4 guys around 400,000, including the returning Charlie Farr, who I don't think put more than 3 credits in. My Retro Tech is then ahead again in 4th with 440,000, and then our top 3 are all close too, and are made up of Graham in 3rd on 490,000, Big Juffer in 2nd with 100 points shy of 500,000, but this week's winner is no major surprise, having previously got through 2 loops of the game, and that's Pearl. We know he's good at a shmup, and he set this score early in the week, with no one being able to match it. Here is the distribution of the scores. We see we've got another bimodal distribution. There are the majority of the folks in the middle, with 7 in the same bin. Then on the right, after a gap, is our top 8, filling only 2 bins. 4th to 8th in one, and then our top 3, all in the same bin, showing there wasn't much separating them this week, but it was Pearl taking the win. And here's the difficulty curve. We see that it's far from linear, reflecting our bimodal distribution. There is an initial plateau at around 250,000, then a bit of an increase to another at around 400,000, before beginning to climb again. These reflect getting stuck at stage 4, and then again later on, showing it doesn't have a linear increase in difficulty. And finally the progress over the week, and we can see this is looking pretty busy, with 22 people playing and plenty of scores being put in. Early on, I led at a couple of points, before Graham pushed things on again, and then Pearl dropped his winning score that no one was able to match. This week you can see how tight it was between Graham and Juff, pretty much matching each other's scores over the week. They approached Pearl, but never quite reached his score. With 3 games in, here is the league table. You can see we've had 25 separate people playing, which is great. Blue Yak is up 6 into 11th with that good performance this week. Our big mover though is Pearl, with possibly the biggest jump in the table that we've seen. He's up 11 places into 4th with that win. Our top 3 is also all new. Graham is into 3rd, and then we've got a new leader. That 2nd place for Juff has seen him climb 3 places to sneak ahead of me for the top spot. Let's see how the next game will shake things up. So now we're on to 1993, and I've had 17 games sent to me. This year I had a lot of beat-em-ups, fighting games, and shmups, and we've got representations from each of those genres. Our most popular game though isn't one of those, which was Bomb Jack Twin, a refresh of the 1984 original. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs got a couple of votes, and so did my choice, The Punisher. Our winner Pearl's choice of Sengoku Ace is trebled, so let's set the selector going and see what we get. Okay, there it goes. Slowing down. Okay, is it going to go over? Okay, so Paul's been lucky. So we've got In the Hunt. So I guess it is another shmup, but it's not like a lot of other shmups. I think sometimes it's seen as being a bit like Metal Slug in terms of those graphics. You play as a submarine and you shoot stuff. So yeah, I'll go record some footage and be back in a sec. So this week's game is In the Hunt, released by Irem in 1993. This game is an underwater shmup, a fair bit different to most other shmups. You have control of the scrolling and have to make progress through each of the levels. You have both forward and vertical rockets, as well as bombs that sink down. At any one time, there can be a huge amount going on the screen, and generally it looks great. The graphics are highly similar to those seen in the later Metal Slug series, and the developers of the game from Irem went on to found Nazca Corporation that developed Metal Slug for the Neo Geo, so no surprise that the graphics are similar. A few plays, and this game seems very difficult. I wonder how much that will improve with practice, but I was struggling to get through the first level with my first couple of plays. We'll be using the world ROM and default settings as usual. For next week, please send me your games from 1994. There continues to be excellent shmups coming out, more fighters, but I'm probably going to be going for Puzzle Bobble. I've very fond memories of that playing on the PC back in the day. So I hope you all enjoy playing some In the Hunt, and I'll be back next week with the scores. See you then.